Hey YouTube, Muchismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Today I want to talk about transparency. I know I've talked a lot about your authenticity as a chosen one, empath, your authenticity, genuineness, just keeping it real, even in your flaws, you're keeping it real. You show your weaknesses, you show your strengths, you're just give it up. You don't really hold back a whole bunch. You give people exactly what they see. And so today I want to expound on those attributes and add to that transparency. This is one other element of your identity, your true self. Even though you've been in the matrix most of your life until the awakening and you begin to realize you really don't need all the fanfare that you've been getting all your life. You can do without it. Empaths can spend many hours, days, weeks to themselves. We thrive a lot better when we're off to ourselves. We're thinkers, we're great creators, and different things like that. So the transparency element is just one more thing that the narcissist despises. They despise transparency because they're able to see through you to the other side. And when they see through you, they undeniably understand that what they see is what they're getting. Did you hear what I said? What they see in you is exactly what they're getting. On the contrary, what you see in the narcissist could be nothing farther from the truth as to what you're getting. You're getting a facade. You're getting a fake. You're getting the image that the narcissist wants you to see. You're getting a part of an image that they have hijacked and stolen from someone else. And now they're trying to counterfeit it and sell it on to you. So when they see through you, the transparency, it does a lot of things to their emotions. And I'll tell you what those emotions are. They are, first of all, envious, angry, disappointed, and they go on to see that transparency as a threat to their fake facade, because they know what they're trying to sell you is phony. But the person that you're giving them is, for one, transparent, which equals into genuineness. This is something that the narcissist gets thrown for a loop about, because in their mind they think they hold the key to everything smart, everything wise, everything angelic, everything that shines. Now they tell themselves this. They are under the delusion of these things. And so you are the mirror in their face. It's like, doesn't matter how made up they are, when they run into you, the empath, the chosen one, with all your transparency, they have seen something that exposes them. It exposes all of their flaws, all of their insecurities, all of their low self-esteem, all of their depressive mind states. But to you, you're unawares of this. You're coming to them genuine. You're coming to them transparent. You're laying it all out on the table. And they're equally as angry because I would imagine that they would want to see something phony about you to help them measure up to what they know they can't measure up to. Because if you were to show them any, and even your flaws, I don't know, I've got some skin is crawling tonight, dry skin, I have to shower, I'm sure. They understand that they can't measure up, and this is bothersome to them. And I'm saying this over and over, and it's repetitive, but I'm trying to get you to wrap your brain around something here. How can a person who is not sound and secure in themselves be comfortable around somebody who is? They don't even know how to do this. Because in their upbringing, they were around phoniness, and they embraced and adopted their fake facade, most often from somebody else who was doing the same thing. I know I've told you before that this derives from narcissism is derived or created from either being overly spoiled or overly disciplined, neglected, isolated, and abandoned. Parent not being there all the time, and the child having to grow up and pretty much tend to themselves. When I was growing up, that's kind of was the norm. We were able to stay home when mom and dad went to work. My dad wasn't in the picture, but I can remember as early as 6 or 7 years old. And I mean, if you did that today, CPS would be all over you. They probably were back then, but it was like everybody had an oversight. I mean, there was some oversight, or there was somebody watching over us. Whether it was grandma next door or the neighbors, it was just, and we knew not to misbehave or do something that was so crazy, because that would warrant a real spanking, a real beating, if you will. Some people don't like to use the word of beating. You get your ass beat. That's what we said back home in Alabama. But, we know that the changing of the times and the changing of people's mindset is watered down. Everything that's good and wholesome is watered down to be cruel and uncaring. And I will always believe that a narcissist is the one that duped society into believing what's wrong is right and what's right is wrong. Because they are straight from the pits of hell. This is how Satan is trying to convince everybody in the world that to have morals and to have any kind of ethics and have a genuine character is wrong. But we look up to idols on TV all the time who portray characters on TV. And then when we see them in real life, like J-Lo, some people are just, they're spellbound because they're in the presence of J-Lo or A-Rod, not knowing that these people are a hot mess, worse than some of us are. Jennifer Aniston, she's been through more relationships than I have. And that's putting it mildly. I went hard and deliberately tried to have relationships with people. She, on the other hand, I don't know personally, but there's something awry there. And the story probably won't truly be told. So a lot of celebrities have gone through, Liz Taylor's married like 7 times. I've been married 3 times. And, they all had their own distinct, differences. So back to point, the transparency and just what I just did, just talking about some things that most people just would rather not have known about themselves. It's like, if they don't ask, I ain't gonna tell, or if this doesn't come up, I'm sure not gonna bring it up. This is the mentality of the narcissist. Even more so. Not that they won't bring it up if it doesn't come up. They're doing everything in their power not to be exposed. Because they don't even have a story. They don't even have a story. They don't have a past to talk about. When they talk about something or an experience that happened in their life, pay attention. It is so sketchy. It is so all over the road. They won't stay connected to, as you and I would say, when I was little, this happened and blah, blah, blah. And then, I grew up and I went to school. I did. They'll give you, they'll give you a whole repertoire of portfolio. I went here and I achieved this. They'll give you that, but they won't tell you raw. They won't give you a raw history of their upbringing. That's the good, bad, and the ugly. They'll only dote on the things that made them look good in a good light. And every time there's a negative thing with their past, it's always passing the buck on somebody else. They can't be transparent. They can be transparent when they're unloading everyone else's dirty laundry. Because you understand they can't introspect. So how would they look within themselves and dig deep and say, I take responsibility for this? If you hear a narcissist say they take responsibility for something, man, get ready. Get ready to just see the Christ come back, because that will be the truth that will set them free, and it won't ever happen. They're in bondage and they like being in bondage. They love the sadistic me, poor me, poor me, poor me, because that's their drug. Their lame duck stories are their go-to. And this is one of their tactics to garner supply, garner attention, adulation, admiration. And there's never enough. So they're always going from one war story to another, and they do it so well and so smoothly, because it doesn't really even sound like they're being overtly a victim. They'll come smooth with you about it. They'll come out of their mouth like they're almost taking some accountability, but they'll renege. They'll give you the illusion that they're taking responsibility, and they'll snatch that back. If you've ever been around a narcissist and heard them play victim, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm sure most of us here do know. And you'll either get sucked into this sob story, and in the back of your mind, you'll give them the benefit of the doubt next time around, saying, oh, maybe I was too hard on them. This is exactly what they want. And you'll even begin to, when they start giving you a side story, this is when you become more and more transparent as an empath, because you feel like you have to make them feel a little better about their bad decisions. No, you just listen to them. That's their story. Let them tell it. And like we used to say back home, when you telling a lie, you telling a story. Kid, no, he telling a story. This is how we used to say that. And it's not like telling a bedtime story up north in the north. It's like you're lying. We couldn't say lying, because to say the word lying was like a curse word. That's how solemn kids were about not misbehaving, especially in the presence of adults. I was at the football game today with my son, and this girl walked by me, couldn't be no more than 12, 13. She was cursing, not under her breath. She was cussing outright loud. And that might be a small thing to some of us, but you know what? If you are vulgar at 12 or 13 years old, and most of what she was talking about was frivolous, she didn't have a genuine reason to be swearing like that, and it's just image. It's image. And once you continue to try to give a fake image, the less and less you're going to be transparent. So let's just try to be transparent as we have been in times past. But if you sense you are giving that energy away to someone who is suspect, that may be in fact a narcissist, or that person may not really deserve your energy and your transparency. Continue to be transparent, but maybe choose wisely who you're being transparent with. Here, obviously, we all are transparent because we have a lot of stories. We know we put our foot in that door. We stepped in some dog poop and we got that smell on our foot for a minute. We've gotten the stuff off, but the stench of that odor will be on us for a while. And we don't ever want to forget this, that we lived through this. And we're going to move forward, and we're going to try to figure out what it is that we did before that we can continue to do, but remembering how we should approach these situations. Don't change who you are, just change who you are around who you are around. Just monitor who you are around. Transparency is one thing, but trust is another. I'm heading for a shower, guys. I just wanted to share this with you. Have a good night. Bless.